Welcome, everyone. I'm Kimberly Boschman, and this is the Intentionally Intuitive podcast. In this episode, we're going to take a look at the January 2021 energies for life path number 8. So, 8, January is a universal 6 month. And so, what's interesting about that is that we just had one. We just had a 6 energy month back in November. And so, what that means is collectively, we may see some resurfacing of some things that came up for us in November around family, community, health, some experiences that maybe we didn't completely work through, that we didn't bring to completion. We may see new things pop up as well, of course, around those areas, but it feels like we could be seeing or having some opportunities to, again, kind of lay something to rest that needs to be laid to rest around family, community, or health. So pay attention to those areas, pay attention to anything that resurfaces for you, because if it resurfaces, it's begging to be, to have your attention and to be dealt with. We can also see collectively this need for honesty, fairness, and genuine concern for others show up this month. And so I feel like collectively we're going to be reintroduced to empathy. You may find that this month you have opportunities to have some pretty honest conversations with others as well as with yourself, which isn't always easy because there's a level of vulnerability there. But again, it's just that standing in your power and really being honest with yourself about what you need, what you're doing, how you're showing up. And again, having those conversations with yourself, really taking a closer look at that, but then also having those conversations with others. So those relationships in your life, where, are they healthy or are they toxic? And where do you need to again, kind of address some things honestly. And then we also have this energy coming up around setting healthy boundaries again. So the key here is really don't take on any unnecessary obligations, okay, or overly burdensome commitments. So the call is really to use your discernment about how you show up and how you invest your time and energy. If you're saying yes out of obligation, then chances are it's not going to be fulfilling for you. And chances are you're just overextending yourself when there are more critical things that need your attention that actually do speak to you. So again, it's just a matter of, not saying yes to please another person and to really be aware of and be honest with yourself about what you need in the day and in your schedule to, feel fulfilled and to feel like you're taking care of your own sanity. Okay. So just be aware of that, because there may be people who, continue to ask more of you than you're capable of giving at this time. And it's up to you to set that boundary and to be very honest about that and let them know, I'm sorry, but I can't show up for you in that way at this time. Thanks for understanding. And there we go. And there's no shame and guilt in that. And then you may also see things transpire around children, family, or change in the home or living situation. And so this could be a whole myriad of ways that this could show up. For children, it may be that you find out you're pregnant or you give birth or someone in your family does. You may see, if you have children, something where they need your attention, or maybe they're leaving the nest and getting their own apartment, or whatever the case may be. Family, you may see something come in, something that really needs your attention around family. And then change in the home or living situation, you may see that you sell or purchase property or a home, or you move locations, or you get a job offer that you need to move to in order to do that job. So those sort of things. So just pay attention to anything that comes up for you around children, family, or change in the home situation. There's also this call this month for the need for peace and harmony. This is a big one, and I feel like this is where we're going to see the most polarity between the collective and individually. And so We just have to continue to remind ourselves that we get to choose how we participate. And so we can choose to be consumed by the chaos of the external, or we can choose to sort of stand back and be the observer and decide what we will participate in and how we invest our energy. Okay. And so there is more than likely going to be chaos and discord and divisiveness in the external this month. Because again, I feel like we're going to see sort of some things resurface from November that surfaced then. So again, it's more about how you can find your own peace and harmony from within, even when the external is chaotic. All right. Instead of trying to save, the collective and change that dynamic, the lessons of the collective are the lessons that we're meant to go through collectively. So it's more about what can you do yourself to find your own peace and harmony. And a lot of times that is being, again, very discerning in how you invest your energy and what you choose to participate in and what you choose to allow to consume your time. Okay, this is a time where if you need to unplug from social media, then this is a great time to do that, right? If it's like the external is so consuming that you are losing your peace and harmony, then those times that you're able to unplug. There's no shame, there's no guilt in that, just unplug. So again, it's going to be about finding those things that work for you to find your own peace and harmony so that you're not constantly in fight or flight, all right? This month, we're also going to possibly see this need for beautification or this desire for beautification, right? Very Venusian energy. And so you may get a new hairdo or, get a makeover or something like that, or buy some new clothes or go to the spa or something like that. You may start a new health regimen. You may want to beautify your home. And so you may do some remodeling or buy some new furniture or buy something that, or do a spring cleaning or whatever the case may be. But it's really this sense of really beautifying your surroundings, including your own temple. So you, and beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So remember, you're doing this for your own sense of peace and joy and harmony, okay? It's not to please another. It's about you and beautifying your space to create the sanctuary that it's meant to be, right? And then you also may find yourself spending more time in nature, which is beauty in itself, right? So the question really becomes, how can you bring more beauty into your own life? And how can you bring more peace and harmony into your own life, okay? So that's the overall energy for the collective. I did pull a animal spirit card for eights, just to kind of get an overall energy for you all. And you guys got camel spirit, which is interesting. And I think that this ties in pretty well with your 8 energy. So camel says, trust that you have the resources to get through the challenges before you. And so, that's interesting because your tarot card, in numerology is actually the strength card. And that is such a reminder that you have everything that you need from within to be able to overcome the challenges that surface. And those areas where you need some additional help from the external, you have access to those resources. You just have to sometimes go out and find them. So Camel is just reminding you that whatever surfaces this month around family, community, health, whatever, you have the resources that you need, or you have access to them to be able to overcome those challenges. Okay, so just continue with your resiliency and continue to move forward. Okay, so I broke down January into 4 weeks. And the first week of January, it's interesting. We have this energy. It's kind of twofold. So it's this energy of something that you've been working on for, it feels like a very long time, is about to bring you some validation, some tangible results. They may not be as big as what you hope that they would be at this point, but the potential for long-term stability, long-term growth, long-term, return of investment, all of that stuff is great. So again, it's like I have this feeling like this is going to be, you're going to see some tangible, some kind of rewards for your efforts trickle in. But again, don't put so much emphasis on, oh, that's not, I wanted to make $1 million and I just made 100. You know what I mean? Like, don't get too consumed by it not being the end result, because I feel like you're going to start seeing those tangibles come in, and that those rewards coming in for your own efforts. And just be mindful of and grateful for, the work that you've put in and seeing that return of investment, okay? Even if it's not, again, the end result, the ultimate goal. Because I don't feel like it's going to be exactly, as great as what you anticipated it to be, but it's incredibly special nonetheless, right? Like, so see it for what it is and see it for its potential of where it's leading you. So I feel like this can bring you, if you see it for what it is and you are, grateful for these tangibles as they come in, I feel like it's going to be very emotionally fulfilling for you. Like, it's going to open up some new opportunities for you that are very emotionally fulfilling. And so this could be opportunities to work with people and collaborate with people in a different way. This could bring you some new insights. It kind of like reignites your faith in what you're doing and your efforts, right? It's like a gift from the universe to be like, you're on the right path. You're doing exactly what you're meant to be doing in this moment. Are you continuing to find your joy along the way, or are you only focused on the end result? And so again, it's that call to come back to finding your joy in what you're doing, and knowing that it's kind of like, again, it's kind of twofold. It's like when we can find the joy in what we're doing and bring it back to that, then those results come. Those financial results and those validations and all of that stuff comes. So this first week, I do feel like you're going to receive some kind of tangible reward or validation. I feel like it's going to not necessarily be as great as what you had hoped it would be, but that isn't a bad thing. Like, again, the potential is for the stability and the longevity of this is really great. So keep your eye on that, like keep focused on that. And I do feel like whatever this is something that you are emotionally invested in and that brings you joy in doing it. So it's worth continuing to pursue it, and it's worth continuing to invest in your time and energy into it. So pay attention to kind of who comes in around this time as well, because I do get this feeling also like you may have an opportunity to view things a little bit differently as far as like who you work with, how you work with others, and that sort of thing. So anyway, but some tangibles coming in for you, I feel like, but also that call to remember the potential as well and not just be focused on the end goal. So, and the steps that you need to take in the moment to get to the end goal, right? So, okay. All right. And then we move into the second week of January. And it's interesting because now we have like kind of this big shift in energy as far as like the tables turning in your favor. So it's kind of like where you had felt like, or where you were working towards, because this is really kind of like, feels like mastery kind of energy. So it's like where you had been working to really gain your confidence or gain your expertise in some area. I feel like something clicks into place here and you feel reignited, or like you feel much more capable in whatever this is. So it's kind of like, because again, it's like this shift in energy, you feel supported, or you have the support coming in if you choose to take it. But it's kind of like you feel a lot of confidence in what it is that you're doing. And this feels, like I said, like mastery energy. So it's like you're mastering something, you're becoming the expert at something. And you're really starting to feel super supported in that, which of course gives you the green light to continue to move forward in that direction. So interesting energies this second week, but it does feel like keep, working. And again, I'm getting that feeling of like collaboration. So if you have an opportunity to collaborate with others at this time, I do still feel like you're going to be sort of the expert in this area, but you are going to kind of have the opportunity to collaborate with others. And through that collaboration comes the support to help move you forward, right? It's kind of like that saying, like, it takes a village. It's kind of like where you want to go to, you can't get there on your own. So it's like you need that support and that collaboration to help get you there, because like the ideas and the support that the others can bring to the table is pivotal in the success of this, whatever this is. And so this can be relationships, but this feels very this feels more purpose driven. So pay attention to those relationships that are looking to collaborate with you and those that are coming in to support you. So again, it's kind of like you may feel like the people just show up out of nowhere that have the missing piece to the puzzle that you need. So don't discount that, or don't shy away from working with them because you feel like you are meant to be the leader. You're meant to lead alongside of others. And so again, the relationships are key, it feels like, at this time. But I do feel like you feel really supported at this time. And I do feel like you get this vote of confidence where it's like, okay, I feel really confident in my capabilities to produce whatever this is. I feel like my innate gifts are coming out and I'm becoming the expert in them, which, we can always continue to learn. But anyway, collaboration is coming in really, really strongly for you all for this month. So however that shows up. Okay, then third week of January, there's this really big emphasis on what your focus is on. So pay attention to your mindset this week. Pay attention to where you're focusing your energy. Remember when we talked about not taking on unnecessary obligations or overly burdensome commitments? That can be like, are you becoming too rigid in your schedule? Are you becoming too rigid in what you allow yourself to create? Because remember, creation is messy. Like there's not a lot of control or, it's messy, right? So it's kind of like if you are too focused on the perfection, then you are too confined. You're not allowing yourself to express yourself in the way that your soul wants to express itself fully because you're putting too many limitations on yourself. This doesn't feel necessarily like mine says. This feels like I don't know. So you creating this very rigid schedule. And if you veer off that schedule, even by 5 minutes, then you beat yourself up for it. And so there's this call to kind of shift your focus a little bit. To see if you can, because 8 energy is like, it's very practical, it's very physical, it's very driven, all of those sort of masculine energies, but it's also very feminine energy driven as well. It's very mystical, it's very connected to the spiritual, it's connected to the divine, it's very intuitive. So again, it's like, where are you focusing your energy on, and where are you beating yourself up over that? So it's kind of like I'm just going to use the example of like a really rigid schedule. So if you have this really rigid schedule and it's not really allowing you any time for true creativity, which is often, again, messy, and you play and you find your joy and just time for like the downtime. If you are, and if you have that rigid schedule and then you veer off of it and then you beat yourself up because you're like, I'm not doing this right, I'm not good enough, whatever the case may be, it's like really this call this third week to shift your focus, to shift that energy, because you need to refine your balance. Because remember, if you fall into any of those extremes at any time, that can become toxic. So it's always about coming back to the center and coming back to your equilibrium. And I feel like, all through life, we fall in and out of alignment. So it's not about finding the alignment and mastering, the maintaining of that alignment. It comes in, again, I guess it is kind of like maintenance. So it's like if you start to veer off, then you just find your center again, you come back. And if you veer off again, you come back. There's no beating yourself up. There's no shame. There's none of that lower vibe energy to keep you stuck. It's like, okay, well, I didn't accomplish this goal or I didn't meet this deadline. We move on. We'll do it next time, right? And it's like, cut yourself, again, some slack. But I do feel like there needs to be a shift of energy from like what you perceive that you're doing wrong or what's not going right. into an energy of, okay, maybe this didn't go exactly how I had planned, but how can I reroute? How can I make adjustments to get back on track? How can I, instead of looking at the people who are judging or not being supportive, how can I find those people who believe in me and believe in what I'm doing and are my greatest cheerleaders? And how can I focus my energy on that positivity and that optimism and that hope and all of that, right? So again, it's kind of like, what is this week? Find out what's consuming you, like what's consuming your thoughts, what's consuming your energy, and is it where you want to be? Is it where you want to be investing your energy full force? Because if it isn't, then again, there's this call for a shift in energy and a shift in focus. And you have the power to be able to do that. And ultimately, you're the only one who can shift that focus. But remember Camel's message. You have the resources to get through the challenges before you. So if you don't feel like you have them internally, then you have access to them externally. So you just have to go out and find them, but you have to put in that effort. So again, I just feel like this third week is just this shift in focus to shift the energy. Okay. Then we move into the fourth week of January. And it's interesting, it's kind of like divine clarification or divine guidance coming in, which sounds cliche, but it's kind of like an aha moment. Like, you have those those intense aha moments where it's like, oh, okay, everything just makes sense now. It feels like that energy. So it's kind of like where maybe you were stuck the week before and you really kind of like needed a shift in energy. It's kind of like this fourth week, you get it. It's like you get this clarity, you get this aha moment that really like allows you to look forward and create the plans that, create the goals, create the visions, but then create the steps to move forward. So it's kind of like major clarity coming in and then kind of like sitting with that aha moment to let it percolate, to sort of integrate it before you start taking the steps forward. So again, this is kind of where it's like keeping your eye on the prize, but reining it back in to pay attention to the details and really letting those details become at the forefront, right? So again, allowing it to percolate, allowing it to integrate before you start taking steps forward. So it's like this great idea comes in, and for eights, sometimes you get this great idea and it's like you just want to go and then you want to see results. It's like boom, boom, boom. But it doesn't always work that way. And there's a reason for that, because sometimes that can be to our detriment. If it's like we get the idea, we do the idea, we get the instant gratification, and then we keep going and continue the process, infinitely. It's like that's masculine energy to the extreme. And that can cause burnout and all those things, and then cause us to beat ourselves up when we don't meet those expectations. So there's really this call to find your balance, get the divine gift, the divine, the aha moment, and then really sit with it before you take major action on it. And really feel, into how you want to progress forward, like how you want to move towards that goal, and pay attention to the details. That's coming in really, really strongly, because the beauty is in the details, right? It's like, and you can't get that if you're in constant action mode. So there's just this energy around, again, having that aha moment, having a great idea, and then just hitting the pause button for a second as you allow it to integrate. And then pay attention to the steps and the details as you begin to move forward. So interesting energies for January for you all, but they all feel very 8 energy. So yeah, but just remember Camel's message, anything that comes up for you, you'll overcome it. You just have to put in the effort, show up, and then use your resources. And I think that you're going to find that there are going to be people coming in who want to be those resources for you, who want to be that support system for you. And so it's just a matter of sort of taking the blinders off and realizing that, yes, you're meant to be a leader in this lifetime. Yes, you're meant to, stand in your power and all that stuff. But you don't have to be an island as you do it. You don't have to stand alone as you do it. There's this energy around leading alongside of others that's really powerful. And that means being able to incorporate others' ideas and suggestions and wisdom into what it is that you're trying to create. And a lot of that comes through the collaboration, but it also comes through the details. Okay? So I hope that this first week of 2021 is powerful for you and brings lots of fulfillment and transformation for you. And I think it's going to be a powerful month for you. Take care, eights. Until we meet again. Bye for now.